अमृत्युः सर्वदृक्सिंह सन्धाता सन्धिमान् स्थिरः अजो दुर्मर्शनः शास्ता विश्रुतात्मा सुरारिः अमृत्युः सर्वदृक्सिंह सन्धाता सन्धिमान् स्थिरः अजो दुर्मर्शनः शास्ता विश्रुतात्मा सुरारिः
Amrityu. Mrityu is a death. There is one meaning of mrityu. Mrityu also can mean vinasha, ruin. We say, no? Suppose a person is in great distress or calamity. Ayyo mar gaya. Not that he is dead. Ayyo mar gaya. What is that? Means ruined. So the one who has no mrityu means one who has no such ruin, no death. Not only that, in whom any cause for such ruin also is not. Not only mrityu, ruin or death is not there. Cause for such mrityu also is not there in whom. Mrityu vinashaha. Or tad heturva. Its hetu, cause. Asya na vidyate iti amrityu. Asya na vidyate iti amrityu. The one who doesn't have this is called amrityu. So amrityu. Then sarvadrik. Sarvadrik. The one who sees, one who knows. Pashyati iti drik. The one who sees, one who knows what all that is done by all living beings. What they do, what they don't do, what they should not do, they do. What should they do, they don't do. Krita, akritam. Done and not done. In the case of all pranis, in all beings, he is called was. And how does he know that? Not that he's sitting beyond the clouds and looking, who is doing what, etc. No. Swabhava bodhena. By very nature of what? Being knowledge principle. By being the knowledge principle. See, whether you do or don't do, all what you think, so what you plan, before you as an individual can come to know, it needs to be illuminated by who? Chaitanya. All these things you do, etc., have to be in terms of thoughts. Thoughts directly or prompting the organs of actions. But these thoughts and the embodiment needs to be illuminated in the sense it should be equipped with the knowledge principle. This knowledge principle aspect is gained where? In the antakarana, in our mind intellect, in the antakarana vritti, the thoughts that crop in. In those thoughts, that chidabhasa, chaitanya bhasa, the appearance of chaitanya in terms of its reflection, as it were, that is the source of knowledge for all beings. Otherwise, the knowledge principle Chaitanya Chit Atma is asanga, unconnected to anything and everything. But its availability in the antakarana in terms of seeming appearance of sentience, sachetanata, that is where what knowledge is possible for us. And actually, this so-called reflection or so-called appearance of Chaitanya in the embodiment, in Antakarana, is itself a Jiva. The so-called Jiva, individual entity, is this. The one who is reflected in this particular embodiment. Just as the sun is ablaze, sun is shining. Let us say there are 1,000 buckets are there with different condition of the water in terms of that purity, clarity, muddiness, and shaking, etc. We get 1,000 reflections in 1,000 buckets of water. We can say that as if that individual reflection is the individual jiva, as it were, with respect to sun. Sun is one all around. Same sun reflected the 1,000 buckets of water. But each reflection is distinct depending on the type of the water. So also, this jiva, the sarvayapi chaitanya Brahma, seemingly appearing in each and every antakarana bucket of water of all beings, appears as though a unique entity. But truly, there is nothing called real, because the real is only one, Chaitanya Sarvayapi Brahma. But here, because of different ashayas, different receptacles, in terms of antakarana, we appear to have so many jivas. And the type of the jiva is unique depending on the texture of the antakarana, or what you can say in terms of impression of the past, the software of past samskaras, software of past vasanas, the individual brings at the time of birth. That determines the type of the individual. For him, of course, certain freedom is there. He can make him or he can marry him. He can improve or he can degrade also, depending on what it does. But this individuality is what? The original Chaitanya. So therefore, he says, so that Chaitanya available in Antakarana Vritti is aware of all that you do, you don't do, before you are aware of it. You as an individual jiva. So therefore, sarvadrik means by swabhavika bodha, by his very natural swarup of knowledge principle, the Paramatma, Ishvara, who knows the, what is that? All that is done and not done by the individuals. So he is Sarva Drik. Sarva Drik. Simha. Simha. Inasti iti Simha. One who what? Kills is Simha. So what this Bhagavan does? Smarana matrena, by simple remembrance of his, he destroys all the sins of the person. See, you must have come across this. Of course, Vedanta is meant for moksha, mukti. But in our Shastras, there are relative muktis also. Relative moksha, relative liberation also is. They are called Salokya, Sarupya, Samipya, Sayujya. These are gained by upasana, adoration, worship, meditation on Bhagavat Tattva, Ishvara Tattva with the Nama and Rupa. It is said, in fact, where it is said in Muktikopanishad, wherein the teaching is by none other than Bhagavan Ramachandra, Rama, teaching to Hanuman. The Hanuman raises the doubt. Bhagavan, I hear different types of muktis. He said, yes. He said this. And there he says, a person who is even durachari, means his conduct is totally adharmic. Even if such person takes continuously my nama, name, Bhagavan Nama, he says, he gets, what is that? Salokya Mukti. Going to heaven in terms of Vaikuntha or Kailasa, as the case may be, as a Upasya Devata, and he remains there. Then comes the Sarupya. In Sarupya, they said that you must have heard this, that this, what is that? In Varanasi, they say the person who dies in Varanasi, Bhagavan Shiva comes at the time of death. He whispers Taraka mantra. As a result, his all sins get destroyed, and he gets what is called as Sarupya Mukti, appearing just like the Vishnu, etc. Further, A person who has got still more good acharana, dharma acharana, more intense tapas in terms of meditation, etc., gains samipya, salokya, sarupya, samipya. All three are there. He's in the same loka as Bhagavan. Still intense is sayujya. He is absorbed in the meditation of Bhagavan only. In this, it's not very clear. In some case, it said there is no return from this. There is no return in terms of what? Transmigration. There is no return in terms of rebirth. But these all four are not the Kaivalya Mukti. Bhagwan Rama makes it clear. These four types of muktis are gained by upasana, thinking, meditating, etc. on the Ishvara Tattva with form, name and form. Upasana. But they are in the realm of creation. In some cases, it said no return. That no return in that kalpa. Not that he is next kalpa again, he will be born. For example, in Vedic upasanas, Brahmaloka is gained by two types of people. By Hiranyagarbha upasana, etc., those who gain Brahmaloka, they remain in the Brahmaloka until the Kalpa. The tenure of Brahmaji is over 120 years. And that time, they exposed to Vedantic teaching to gain Upanishad Jnana, being taught by none other than Brahma himself. These people are eligible for what is called as Krama Mukti. Krama Mukti means, literally it is called gradual liberation. What do you mean by gradual liberation? They remain in the Brahmaloka until the Kalpa ends. By that time, they gain Brahmajnana, where the clarity of Brahma Swarupa is most vivid. Number one. Number two, the clarity of Atma Swarupa, Brahma Swarupa, is clear in the human embodiment. It is said in human embodiment, it's like that, seeing your face in the mirror. But in Brahmaloka, it is so distinct, like light in contrast to darkness, so vivid. But at one place in Kathopanishad, Bhagavad Puja Pada Shankaracharya remarks, better to gain Atma Jnana in this human embodiment. Don't run after Brahmaloka. To gain Brahmaloka is very, very difficult. Even with specific type of karmas and specific type of upasanas. With yoga, at the time of death, he has to eject the sukshara in a particular manner. All these are involved. So better gain the knowledge here and say goodbye. Don't aspire for Brahmaloka. These are the varieties of Kramamukti people who have gone to Brahma. But there is other what is called Panchagni Vidya. Panchanga Vidya is a Vedic Upasana. Chandogya getting. By which also one goes to Brahmalok. And there is no return. No return what? Till that kalpa. He doesn't get the Kramamukti. Next kalpa again born. Like that. In this, Salokya, Samipya, Sarupya, Samipya, Savidya. Maybe in some because there only second one you say no return to. We don't know what about this. Elsewhere, details may be there. But it is confined to that kalpa. Whereas Kaivalya Mukti, wherein Maya itself ends. And it can be gained by Aupanishadika Jnana. That is the everlasting moksha. Be aware of this. At time, heavens also are called moksha. You have to see the context. Why? You see, moksha means what? Freedom. Freedom is from sorrows, relatively freeing from sorrow is a moksha. For example, compare to pains and sorrows in the human embodiment. Heavenly embodiments have got much less. Little maybe they're here and there. No disease, but other sorrows, maybe they're little. So relatively free from sorrows, moksha. But it is not true moksha. Rama makes it very clear. Kaivalya mukti only is the moksha. And it can be gained by what? Upanishadic jnana. And Rama says, Hanuman, only one Upanishad, Mandukya Upanishad, Alam, sufficient to gain this knowledge. If you are not able to get by that, then comes the role of studying other Upanishads up to 108. So here, Simhaha, Smarana Matrena, even that person Durachari, by simply remembrance of Bhagavan, he gains what? That is what? Destruction of his papas. So there will be again, Inasti destroys. Smarana Matrena, by simple remembrance. Samasta Papa, all Papa. See, the problem is we don't have Shraddha. We take everything lightly. Otherwise, the power in the Bhagavan Nama, the name of the Lord is not ordinary, but Shraddha must be there. So that's why, see, even avatars, keep aside the Shruti, avatars, emphasize repeatedly on the role of Shraddha. They appeal to you, please have Shraddha in this. Don't doubt this. This is the truth, even though you are not able to verify right now. Bhagavan knows better. But we should have that Shraddha in Bhagavan. So Simha, so therefore he is the one who destroys papas by very remembrance. Sandhata. Sandhata means one who unites. What does Bhagavan unite? Bhagavan unites the individual jiva with his karma phala. No error. Once karma phala getting attached to others is not possible. And a person having done the karma cannot escape that karma phala. Even if kalpas and kalpas pass by, safe in the account. When it will be executed is to be known, depending on the type of karma. Just like, see, in a farm, you sow different types of seeds. But which seed will sprout when depends on the type of the seed. Only because you have sown them at a particular time doesn't mean all will sprout immediately. No. Every seed has its own period. Like the karmas, papas, and punyas have their own fructification period. So here, now who executes this? That is the karma phala of the person doing the karta, doer, Ishvara, Bhagavan, Sandhata, the one Purushan, individual. Karma phala is Sandhate, one who unites the individual jivas with their karma phala. Sandhiman. See the beauty now. Sandhiman, what is Sandhiman? Sandhi also means connection. Not only the one who connects the individual with the karma phala, but also he is the one who is karma phala bhokta. Jiva undergoes the karma phala. Who is the jiva in reality? Paramatma tattva only appearance. So therefore, not only Sandhata is Sandhiman, is one who is connected to the karma phalas, one who is a bhokta, experiencer of karma phalas, whether enjoying because of punya or suffering because of papa. Generally, the word bhokta is translated in English as enjoyer. It is not totally correct because it also bhokta means not only enjoyer, also sufferer. One who enjoys, one who suffers is bhokta. Means one who undergoes, one who experiences the papa punya result of karma, gives rise to joys and sorrows. So he has to be experiencer, or you have to say enjoyer or sufferer. So Sandhima, that bhokta, phala bhokta says, oh, Paramatma, because there is none other than Paramatma. Sthira, Sada Ekarupatma, always the same, never subject to change. So, what is called as avikriya. Avikriya. One who is not subject to any changes or vikaras, modifications. Sthira means avikriya, changeless. One who is same all the time, constant. Ajaha. I hope most of you know who is Aja. Unborn, when there's no birth at all. Unborn. Bhashyakara gives different meanings. We'll come to the Aja afterward, unborn. But he gives Ajati means Gachati or Kshipati. Aj, this verb has got two meanings. Gachati, one who moves, walks. Kshipati, one who throws. So if you take moves, the one Bhagavan, one who moves in the heart of devotees. The Hridaya of devotee is the pleasure garland for Bhagavan. That way, the one who is Ajaha, the Bhagavan who moves in the Antakarana mind of devotee. Or one who throws what? Arrows. For whom? It says for demons. One who discharges arrows toward demons to destroy them, called Ajaha. Or Ajaha can be seen as one who is unborn. We get a very beautiful definition in Mahabharata. Says, Bhagavan says, I am called Aja. Why? Nahi jataha. Never in the past I was born. Na jaye. I am not born now and existing. Na jan aham. Of me, Bhagavan says, I was never born the past, nor born now, no janishe. I shall never be born in the future. No janishe kadachana, no kadachana, never. I was never born the past. I am not born now. I shall never be born in the future. So who is me then? Kshetradnyaha sarvabhutana. I am the Kshetradnya. As we see in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13. One who knows, one who knows, one is aware of this body of ours from the tip of the toe up to the top of the head. Means we Jiva. And the Jiva in reality is what? Me Paramatma. Kshetratnyam chapi mam vidhi. Bhagavan says. The Jiva who knows the embodiment entirely by objectifying it, that Jiva is in reality who he was. As you have seen, the reflection has no separate, independent existence apart from the Bimba, the original entity which has got reflected somewhere. Then, if it is, that reflection is what Paramatma only, why this Jiva should suffer samsara? That is because this Jiva, not knowing the Sarupa, mistakes all the characteristic picture of the Antakarna as one's nature. All samsaric sorrows, etc., are centered in Antakarna and not in Chaitanya. The muddiness, the purity, the shaking, etc., belong to the water and not to the sun. if this reflection considers itself that reflecting I is bound to mistake all these kind of features of the water as its own nature. No, it should know what the bimba, the sun. What should it do? Kick the bucket. So long as bucket having water is there, you can't escape. Kick the bucket. Where will the reflected sun will go? Theoretically, we have to accept that it has merged with the bimba, the original sun. Truly speaking, it was never there. Sun only was there. It was the appearance. There was no true entity. True entity is the same, which always is. No. Before that bucket cutting the water was kept in the sun, it was not there. After the water is thrown, it is not there. In between, it appeared to be there. So like this. So the jiva who identifies with the body, that body has got repeated births. Even jiva is anadi. If bucket of water is there, he is there. Antakarna is there. Antakarna is anadi, jiva is anadi. Destroy antakarna. You remain what you are. So they're here. So here, from Swarupa, Ajaha, unborn. Bodies are born. So, but not the Chaitanya, which is never born. So therefore, Kshetrajna, Sarva Bhutana, the Jiva in all. Therefore, Tasmad Ajaha Smritaha. I am considered as what? Ajaha, unborn. Ever existent one. Durmarshana. Marshana means overpowering. So Durmarshana means one who cannot be overpowered by demons, etc. Duryodhana. You know Duryodhana? Very difficult to fight with. So powerful. Duryodhana. So Durmarshana. One who cannot be overpowered by others. So mighty and powerful. Durmarshana. Who is unbearable in the fight. Shasta. So Shasta is the instructor, teacher. So Bhagavan is the one. What does he do? He advises, he teaches all through Shruti, Smruti, etc. Instruct all people. So the Vedas and the scriptures based on the Vedas, also through gurus, etc. So that is how Shruti, Smriti, Adibhi, by the means of Shruti, Smriti, etc. Sarvesham Anushishtim Karoti. Anushishtim Karoti means one who instructs, teaches all people is called Shastra. The teacher, the great teacher, Adi Guru, the great instructor. Vishruta Atma. Vishruta means famous. The Atma oneself who is very famous, or Atma, the one whose nature is very famous, where in the Shastras as being described as Satya, Jnana, Ananta, etc. One who is very clearly unfolded, very clearly revealed in the Shastras such as Shruti, Upanishads, Smritis, Puranas, etc. Puranas, Itihasas, and other Smritis. There are many, we know Manusmriti, there are many Smritis. Yadnevaska Smriti, Apasnama Smriti, like many Smritis are. Some have that unique thing. So Vishruta one who is a famous Atma Swarupa, renowned self, Vishruta. Surariha, the one who is Nihanta, destroyer, killer of who? Suras, Devatas. One who is the destroyer of enemies of the, not Devatas, enemies of Devatas. One is the destroyer of Surari. Surari means enemies. Enemies of the Surari. Hari means enemies. Whose enemies? Surana, of the Devatas. One who kills or destroys the enemies of Devatas. Why so? Is it not Ishvara is partial? No. Because Devatas live by dharma. Danavas, their enemies, are adharmic. So therefore, to uphold dharma, what you do? You have to protect those who live dharma and destroy those who violate dharma and indulge in adharma. Otherwise, there is no way of protecting dharma. Not that you stand with a gun and all that. Dharmo rakshati rakshitaha. Rakshitaha dharmaha rakshati. You protect dharma. How? By living. That dharma will protect you. See, the present world, Brahmanas are not cared for at all. Their plight is not that good. What Mahatma said, they only are responsible for that. Why? They have lost the Shraddha and the Vedas. With full Shraddha, they live, that Veda itself is protected. Dharmo rakshati rakshita. Rakshitaha dharma. Dharma, what is protected means lived. Certainly will protect. At times, it appears as though it not. No. Always you see false things, lies spread like wildfire. But it takes time for the truth to get revealed. So like this. Quick result by adharma. Rampant. It takes time for dharma to overpower it. And that we can be done by protecting those who live dharma. That is what Bhagavan does. Surariha. Surarinam nihanta. The one who destroys, kills the enemies of devatas who live by dharma. Read the next one.
गुरुर्गुरुतमो धाम सत्यः सत्यपराक्रमः निमिषो निमिषस्रग्भि वाचस्पतिरुदारधीः गुरुर्गुरुतमो धाम सत्यः सत्यपराक्रमः निमिषो निमिषस्रग्भि वाचस्पतिरुदारधीः
Guru generally is what? Who imparts the knowledge. Guru. I say, Bhagavan, Parameshwara is the one who teaches, advises all types of vidyas. This is 64 types of vidyas are there. All vidyas, not branch of knowledge, originate from Bhagavan Parameshwara itself. So Guru, that is Samasta Vidyanam Upadeshrutva, Upadeshta, the teacher of all types of knowledge. Or Guru also can mean elderly one. Sarvesham Janakatva, with the father, grandfather of all, means Pitama, Brahmaji is called Pitama, the originator of all beings. So that way, Paramatma only, the eldest Guru can also mean the eldest Guru. Guru Tama, most exalted teacher, the supreme teacher. How? Because he is the Guru of even Brahmaji, the one who has taught Brahma Vidya to even Brahmaji, one of the Trinities. So therefore, because being the Guru of even Brahma, etc., he is the most exalted Guru, Guru Tama, superlative, highest type of Guru, Adi Guru, the original Guru. Dhamaha. Dhama we know as abode. But Dhama also means Jyoti, effulgence, the very knowledge principle, the very experiencing principle, the very self-evident principle. Narayana Paro Jyoti. Narayana the Parajyoti is a very knowledge principle to Narayana. Or Dhamma can mean one who is abode, aspada of all kamas, desires. Mind you, desires are not centered in Atma Brahma. The locus, ashraya, abode of desire is what? Antakarana buddhi only. But without Chaitanya Parabrahma Paramatma, they cannot have any existence. From that standpoint, he said is what? He is aspada, abode of all desires, because in his presence only your desires can get fulfilled, though they are centered in what? Antakarana. Satya. Satya means one who is a Satya Vachana Dharma. Always when it takes to what? Incarnation. What is that? Satya Vachana. But at times we may not know what Bhagavan means. See, Bhagavan will never do adharma. He will never take to adharma. But in dharma also, there are samanya dharma and vishesha dharma. Samanya dharma in general, to the letters, strictly to the letters. Vishesha dharma means a thing to be done in a specific context, which may appear as though against samanya dharma. But in that context, it happens with dharma. A very glaring example we get in Mahabharata. Drona was invincible. Drona cannot be killed so long as he is wielding the weapons. So long as bow and arrow is in his hand, nobody can win him. Arjuna may keep engaged in the battle. So you know well the story. Krishna devised a scheme, asked Bhima. One more thing, Drona had told this. When Pandavas went to Dronacharya to seek the blessing for victory, Drona said, look, I know your case. You are dharmic people. You are what? Great injustice being done against you. But I am bound to this throne because I am the servant. I can't desert now. So long as I am wielding the weapons, no one can kill me. But I will lay down my bow arrow weapons when I hear a very sad news. Sad news. Dronacharya was very much attached to his son Ashwatthama, though he knows he is adharmic. In fact, Dronacharya has not given Brahmastra to Ashwatthama. But Ashwatthama, after daddy, no, somebody, he taught him, but he didn't tell him how to withdraw it. You know, he's adharmic. He is not the one who is fit to wield Brahmastra. So Krishna devised this. Elephant by name Ashwatthama was killed. News went to who? Dronacharya. But he wanted to verify is true or not. Whom to ask? You know, Dharmaraja will never tell a lie. And Krishna knew it. He had already prompted who? Dharmaraja, look, he will ask you. You will tell. Ashwathamo hato hata. Ashwathamo hato hata. You are not told what? What is that? Man or elephant? But Dharmaraja was inside little reluctant. How can I do adharma? How can I tell lies? See, who has told here? Bhagavan himself has told. So, what he did was, he said, Ashwathamo hato hata, naro va kunjaro va, whether man or an elephant, not known. Krishna knew it. Immediately, hato hata, he blew the conch so loudly that Narova, Kunjarova, words of Dharmaraja got drowned in the sound of the conch. Dronacharya could not hear it. And it is said at that time that till then, Dharmaraja's chariot was not running, was flying. A few distance above the earth only it was flying. The moment he said, the chariot struck the ground. They say, because Dharmaraja said a lie, it came down. True thing is not so. It came down because he doubted Krishna's statement. He thought Krishna has said something adharmic, not knowing who he is. Not knowing, but forgetting who he is. That was the dharma at that time. Vishesha dharma. Krishna had told. But Dharma lacked the Shraddha. The chariot came down. People think that he told a lie. That's why he goes, no. Because so at times you have Shraddha and Bhagavan, etc. But at times it is short of what you need. So that we hear. So here, with that Satya, Satya is Satya Vachan, which is Dharma, always in the who. Or it can be Satyasya Satyam. In Vrindavan it is said, Pranavai Satyam. Pranas are called Satya because they last for a longer period. Satyasya vai tesham Satyam. Even much more durable, lasting is what? Brahma, then Pranas. Satyasya Satyam. The truth of truth. The everlasting one. Next one is Satya Parakrama. We'll see. Om.
स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महीमहीषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो